I see what I got today.
Oh, some lion scratchers. Nice.
So when I win $500,000, I'm gonna buy a suite, season tickets.
Oh, is that what you're going to do? Not going to buy my sister a better house or, make sure she doesn't ever have to work again? Wow, that's so thoughtful of you.
Well, that too, but
Since that didn't come first, I don't believe you.
you're a diehard Detroit Lions fan. You gotta make some sacrifices.
Your marriage? Really?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 37 of Just Lying Around, a Detroit Lions podcast presented by the World of Football. I'm your host, Kyle Sutherland, and I'm joined by my co-host and brother-in-law, Adam Snow, along with my future linebacker for the Detroit Lions. Let me go ahead and grab him real quick here.
What? Future linebacker? What could you be talking about? Oh my God, not Frank!
Look, with his uniform on. There you go.
What number is he wearing? That's not a uniform.
I don't know. 3 available. But anyways, Adam, we watched the game last night. I actually stayed up. Sounds like you did too.
Oh yeah, all the way to the end, baby.
Oh yeah. How are you feeling off that win last night?
Look, there's a lot of stuff to be critical about, but I think at the end of the day, if the Lions win a game by not playing their best game, I mean, that's got to be a positive, right? Like, that's what a lot of people consider the good teams do. So, I mean, we must have a good team if they didn't play their best game and they still won.
Oh yeah, you could definitely tell there's a lot of rust on that starting group there. So hopefully the next game they knock it off there, and we actually get to see how big this talent is on this Detroit Lions group there.
For sure.
But yeah, so on today's show we're gonna go over the overtime win against the Los Angeles Rams, and then look ahead at week 2 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Kind of odd, we're facing both teams here, same teams we faced against the playoff games. So yeah,
Clearly they did that on purpose. Thank you, schedule makers.
yeah. I wonder if they did that on purpose.
I would assume so.
So yeah, let's get into it here. Lions win over the Rams overtime. Lions 26, Rams 20. First half. Overall, Lions held the Rams to 3 points. And I tell you what, man, they were defensive side. They were clicking, especially that front four. You could definitely tell that the cornerback room, even though they're all brand new, they got a lot of things to work on, but it's definitely a major step up from last year. And even with the other edge defender we picked up from Davenport, like with him staying healthy, like he hopefully will be, lined up opposite side of Hutchinson. That's going to be big there.
Yeah, the defense did a lot of good stuff in this game, and a lot of stuff that, like you said, needs to be cleaned up. I mean, that cornerback room especially. I don't know how far and how much you want to break down things later on. I don't know if you want me to not jump the gun, but I'll just say that they especially had a lot of bright stuff and some stuff that definitely, like I said, needs to just be cleaned up, and maybe one guy in particular.
Yep, we'll talk about that here. But the second half rolls around. Rams are without their fourth string tackle. They had to bring in the fifth string, which Aiden Hutchinson manhandled them throughout that whole game. So that ultimately led to Stafford having to do quick outs to Cooper Kupp, which we'll talk about there. And then fourth quarter rolls around, and the Jake Bates kicks that field goal to tie the game. And Rams get the ball back. Hutchinson finally gets a sack to end the regulation. They go over overtime, and yeah, talk about old school, pound it down your throat football. You could definitely tell Dan Campbell had a smile on his face when they won that toss because he knew what he wanted to do, and they succeeded, and the Lions came out with a win.
That was a great shot. The fact they caught him smiling after Jared Goff got that coin toss, that's something special. And as soon as that happened, I kind of was like, we got like I don't know about you, but like during the game, I was nervous for like maybe a split second, but I never felt like they couldn't come back. Like I was like they got that. I sat there. I didn't really go into full like edge of your seat, sitting like this. Like please God, have them come through. I actually like sat back and I was like, I need to start trusting this team. And at the end of the game, they came through. They did what they had to do. People probably complain about the overtime rule. Why? Both teams should get a chance to have it. I'm not saying it's a perfect overtime system, but the rule is the rule. If the Rams wanted the ball back, they would have stopped David Montgomery from just running all over him. The Lions just put their best 5 offensive linemen out there and said, "We're going to push you. David Montgomery's going to get by you, and we're going to win this game." And that's what they did. They threw one pass on that drive. What was it, a 7 or 8 play drive? And they threw it one time.
Yep.
The other plays were runs. The only pass was a swing pass out to Gibbs. Otherwise, it was just Montgomery just gashed them for like 9 yards of carry or whatever it was. And it was glorious. And it was I knew from when they started doing it, I was like, they got it. They're just gonna run, they're just gonna jam it down their throat. The Rams were gassed. You could just tell like it had gotten to them being in overtime. And the Lions finally seemed like they shook a lot of that preseason rust off and just said, "Yeah, we're done. We're done toying with our food. We're done. We want to go home." It's 11. It's like almost 11:45 at night. There's a whole 65,000 group of people here who just want to go home and take a nap and celebrate a Lions win. So let's just be done with it. And that's what happened.
Yeah, you could definitely tell at the end there when they Rams stopped them at the 5 yard line, but um, Detroit's offensive line, David Montgomery, pushed them to the 1 yard line. Like it's over. So
Yeah.
that's the
Do you
power
think?
running.
Do you think? Because in that situation at the end of the game, they were close to almost having to have a fourth down play. If they would have had to have gone for it on fourth and short, do you think they go for it or do they kick the field goal?
Uh, with the way Montgomery was running, yeah, I'd go for it, especially if they needed like 1 or 2 yards to get that first down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm right there with it. I feel like Dan Campbell would have been like, we're not giving the ball back to Matthew Stafford. We've seen this all too many times, especially in that building. Let's just, I would assume he would have risked it there and gone for whatever fourth down he needed to prevent Matthew Stafford. Oh, maybe if it was like a 4th and 20 or something, he probably wouldn't have risked it. But
Yeah.
with it being that close, I think that's his like, yeah, we got it. Go for it. We'll just run it.
Yep. So let's go over stats real quick. So we get the Lions. We have Jared Goff, 18 of 28 for 217 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He put on the Lamar Jackson shoes. He had 1 carry for 7 yards. Looks sensational out there while he was
Wasn't that a
doing
great
it.
scramble? That was so good. Like, I mean, Jared Goff doesn't do that a whole lot. But I mean, how smart of him to like take that angle, and he was like looking like he was willing to just sacrifice his body to get that first down when they needed it.
Yeah. So also had David Montgomery, 17 carries, 91 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 reception for 2 yards. If you notice through the game, Montgomery started that game. I think he played the first quarter. Gibbs played the second, third, and fourth quarter. And Montgomery came out in the overtime and finished the game off. So that helped also. Montgomery fresh, not worn down through the whole game. So thank God we got 2 awesome running backs for that to happen there.
Fair. I mean, I don't see why they can't change it up a little more. Like, I feel like that's weird that he didn't really see as much action as he should have. Like Ben Johnson's
Yeah.
uh, play calling personnel packages, I think, can be called into question just a smidge. Not they won the game, so hard to criticize at the end of the day. But I just feel like David Montgomery had their number from the beginning of the game. And why are we? I get you want to get all these other guys involved, but I mean, if you got to ride the hot hand sometimes. Montgomery was gashing him. why not just stick with it? I mean, this game would have been done earlier had they just let Montgomery run it. Maybe you use Gibbs on some, I don't know, some more swing passes, or you throw Gibbs in there every now and then just to kind of change it up. But I don't know. I'm a little disappointed we didn't see more Montgomery, but hey, like I said, win's a win.
Yeah, we'll see. I expect later on in the later games here, we'll see Gibbs out wide with Montgomery in the back. I mean, it didn't help. Gibbs was hurt through training camp, so they couldn't really unleash what they wanted to with both those running backs there. But moving on, we got Jamison Williams, Waymo, JMO coming out in style. 5 receptions, 121 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 carry for 13 yards. And what can I tell you, Adam? I told you so. It's going to be Jamison Williams' season here.
Hey, he's been the talk of training camp, and he's been kind of poised for this moment, especially towards the end of the playoff run. That NFC Championship game, he was finally getting some looks. I think it's his time. So I don't know if he'll get 1,000 yards this season, but he's going to be that guy who's going to get a play every now and then when the defense is trying to plug up the middle or stop Amon-Ra and Laporta from catching those passes across the middle. They're going to be like focused on the box. They're going to get 7 up front. Oh, now we got to stop Montgomery, and then you just wait the wrong play, and Ben Johnson's going to dial up something for Jared Goff to just throw a dime down to Jamison Williams. Or Jamison Williams will have to come back. Seems like every time JMO catches a Goff deep ball, he's got to come back a little bit for it and then take it to the end zone. But I'm all for it. He's going to be a guy to watch out for. I don't know if he'll be like a game breaker in fantasy, like you need him to be for your fantasy team. But I think he's going to be a very important piece to how this year's Detroit Lions are going to operate.
Yeah, I think he had a great game because I don't think Sean McVay really is playing for him. He playing more for like Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Laporta, which if you look at their stats, you can kind of tell that they didn't get a lot of looks, so they were kind of double covered or they had someone over the top of them ready to um, intercept that ball or whatever they got to do. So, yeah, now that the tape's out on Jamison Williams, expect a little more coverage or a little more attention to him, which ultimately is going to open up um, more opportunities for Amon-Ra, St. Brown, and Laporta. Now you got 3 playmakers plus your running backs in the backfield. Like, it's going to be interesting what each team, how they prep for facing against the Detroit Lions offense here.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got Jahmyr Gibbs, 11 carries, 40 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 4 receptions for 34 yards. So expect his production to go up a little bit more coming off that hamstring injury, which watching the game, he didn't look like he had any trouble. So that's good news there.
Yeah.
On the Rams side, Matthew Stafford, 34 for 49, 317 yards, 1 touchdown, and a seeing ghosts out there. He had 1 interception to Kirby Joseph.
What a dirty interception that was. What a
Yeah.
dirty interception. Did you see how camouflaged he was in that end zone? Matthew Stafford couldn't even see him.
Yeah. It was interesting. Hey, I guess that's Kirby's way of saying to Stafford, you want to call me a dirty player in the playoff game, this is what's going to happen to you.
Hey,
So,
Kirby just read that play real well. And look,
yeah.
I know you're about to move on from Matthew Stafford, but look, let's give Matthew Stafford and the Rams a little bit of credit here because this is probably the only chance really to do so. Matthew Stafford, whenever he gets banged up, it's like, just fuel for him. He just takes that and just uses it as fuel to like, all right, I'm gonna get you. You make me take my hand up. Well, I'm gonna, start slinging darts, and we're gonna be moving down the field. He just gets a little more aggressive, and I don't know what it is. It just makes him a little more precise. He was throwing some absolute lasers out there. Great passes. He did the no look thing. How can you not be impressed by that? And you're about to talk about the guy receiving most of those catches in Cooper Kupp here in a second. They just being down with Puka Nacua getting hurt. They're down to their 5th string offensive lineman. They had to shuffle guys. Graham Glasgow moved from center to guard in the middle of the game. for the
Not
Rams.
Glasgow.
Not
He's on
Glasgow.
our team.
Jonah Jackson's what I meant. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jonah Jackson, former Lion, now with the Rams, was playing center and moved to guard, I think. So the Rams were shuffling stuff around, and they were giving Stafford time. Stafford took the 1 sack, maybe 2 sacks during the game. Like, I'm surprised the pressure didn't get to him more, or to at least accumulate a sack. But Stafford was just getting the ball out quick. He knew what he had to do as a veteran guy, 16 years in the league. So give him some credit. I think he played an absolutely awesome game, and it's just his team fell short. I wouldn't even put that on his shoulders.
Yeah. So next guy here, Cooper Cup. Like you mentioned, Puka Nacua got hurt, banged up his knee or whatever. So hopefully it ain't something major for him. Hopefully he can get out there and play for them. Because you don't ever want to see a player get hurt in the NFL because that sucks for them. They've trained for to be able to play and stuff like that happens. So that sucks.
Yeah,
So that left Cooper Cup basically holding the team with Stafford on their back. He had 14 receptions, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown. And real quick, just one thing I want to talk about Matthew Stafford also. He did a lot of pre-snap motions with Cooper Cup just to see what kind of if the defense was in zone or man-to-man, which you could tell they were man-to-man. But the problem with our defense right now with the cornerbacks is they're not really used to handing off guys or whatever. So you'd see those quick one second to 1.5 throws off of Stafford because Cup was open. You see not Terrion Arnold, but the other cornerback slip, which caused Cooper Cup to get that touchdown there.
yeah,
So as that cornerback room gets comfortable, they're going to be able to hand guys off and avoid a bunch of this stuff that happened in this game here.
yeah.
So we'll talk about total yards, Lions, 363, Rams, 387 yards. Time of possession, Lions, 29 minutes, 45 seconds, and Rams, 34 minutes and 56 seconds. So, yeah. If you look at the stats and everything, I mean, this should have been Rams' game to win, but Lions coming up in the red zone, getting that interception, and holding the Rams to field goals or stopping them on 4 or 3 down possessions. So, yeah, good for the Lions defense to finally step up here.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about the game real quick. Ford Field, electric. They had that light show showing Collinsworth and the other reporter and light show going off behind them. And sold out. Just like the playoff atmosphere, a lot of people were saying, yeah, it's really loud in here. Great atmosphere to play in. So, yeah, expect that pretty much through the whole season, hopefully.
Well, hopefully, I mean the fans showed out, and I think the fact that it was, everybody was excited for that playoff game, and that atmosphere we were there. It was absolutely incredible. But I think the anticipation of going into a season with the aspirations of being considered Super Bowl contenders, was a whole other thing. This has been building for months, and I've heard some people say that atmosphere last night was, you know, greater. Some people have said it wasn't as electric as the playoff game because that game had stakes. This is just game number 1 of the season, but regardless, fans showed out. It was awesome. That place was packed. The light show, like you said, Detroit knows how to do it, and it's a stage like Calvin Johnson said in that opening. It's a stage you're going to be seeing the Lions on for a long time.
Yep.
Get used to it.
So moving on, defense, first half, firing all cylinders, stopping McVay and Stafford. They came out second half, made some adjustments, which made it a little more difficult for the Lions to handle. A few penalties by Terrion Arnold in the end zone, getting a little too handsy, which hearing people say, yeah, you can get away with that in the college, but in the NFL, you can't be doing that stuff. So I'm pretty sure Terrion Arnold's going to learn from that and won't make the same mistakes. Um,
I mean, a
yeah,
couple of, I mean, that was, one of those was a really ticky tack. Like I thought both of them
yeah,
were hand fighting. I thought that was a type of play that you could just let that one go. One, the one did look from the angle from the TV. It did look like it was uncatchable. Yet they still threw the flag. So I mean, maybe it was catchable. I mean, Cooper Kupp's one of the best receivers to play the game, so I guess no ball would be uncatchable, maybe. But I don't know. I thought at least one of them was a little ticky tack. Same with some of uh, the roughing the passer call on Hutchinson, like ticky tack.
yeah,
I mean, we could talk about blown calls, missed calls all day, like Hutchinson getting tripped, Hutchinson seemingly getting held every other play. But I don't know. I just with Tyrion Arnold though. Well, I think people are going to criticize him for the the penalties that did cost them. You know, a couple plays in the end zone that puts the ball at the 1 yard line, put your defense in a really bad spot. One of which they at least were able to make a great red zone stand, and the Rams only came away with 3 points, maybe if any, at that point in the game. But what I liked about him was when there was a play like a quick throw to Cooper Kupp, he was there to just. It seemed like Tyrion Arnold was like there in a minute, and he knew how to wrap up and tackle. He wasn't throwing a shoulder into him like Ghost of Lions cornerback pass, but he was actually wrapping up and making a tackle like at the line of scrimmage. There's so many times that I wish I would have put down the each catch Cooper Kupp had 14 catches. How many of them were like 1 yard, -1 yard, where he was actually getting hit like
yeah.
from the moment he got the ball? So I think Tyrion Arnold's got that down. And can we also talk about Anzalone just setting the tone? That first stinking play, just absolutely laying the hammer down. And at that point, even my girlfriend watching was like, "Dang, was that Anzalone?" And I had to look at her because I was like, "I can't believe you know who Alex Anzalone is." She's like, "Well, I've learned something, and it's hard to not notice with that long blonde hair." So I told her, I was like, "Dang, baby, I could kiss your face so hard right now, like." The fact that she just pulled Anzalone's name like out of like I know she knows like the big name guys, but Anzalone's like the next tier down of Lions names that people would probably talk about. The fact that she just right away first play of the game, I was like, we're in for a good night.
Yeah, yeah, he definitely that first half, Anzalone was all over the field making great tackles. But yeah, that second half when the Rams did all their stuff to adjust everything, kind of shut Anzalone out of the game. So
Yeah,
nothing on
pretty much.
Anzalone. It's just the way McVay drew up that second half. So
Yeah, they're staying out of the middle of the field as much as they could, except for
yeah,
like the one of the plays where what was it that Johnson receiver who just happened to make a great like little stop and it caused a defender to just slide by him like they went off on that big long run. But other than that, I mean, they stayed to the outside primarily. They stayed away from
yeah,
those linebackers. So, yeah, that did take Anzalone out of the game.
yeah, yeah. Also, we talked about people slipping and sliding everywhere. It's not just the Lions that were having trouble. It's like a handful of teams out there watching all these games. Like everyone's slipping and sliding around. I don't know if they got different sets of cleats this year or whatever, but hopefully they can fix that coming up
Right.
here.
Hopefully. And can we quick? I want a quick note that the 3 points the Rams scored in the first half is the lowest score the Rams have had in a first half under Sean McVay, or tied for it. I don't know. It's been a while since it's happened to him. Usually he gets more than 3 points in the first half of a game. So kudos. So that's when the Lions defense was humming. They were definitely taking advantage of a lot of the Ram stuff, and then McVay, like you said, drew up a bunch of stuff in the second half and took advantage of a semi-predictable Aaron Glenn defense there. And I hate giving Collinsworth credit for pointing out the shifting motion, but I mean, if Collinsworth and us can see that, like Sean McVay is going to see that right away, like how they're trying to go from man to zone or what have you, depending on what's happening.
Yeah, we'll see. The only thing I didn't really like about Aaron Glenn's defense there, some of those plays they had the defenders like 5 or 10 yards off the player. So I know Aaron Glenn's all about that at the line, defender at the line, kind of pushing and stuffing them to disrupt their routes. But I didn't really see a lot of that this game.
Yeah, you think of the way, especially after Stafford, like that's all Stafford could do. With that line, folding as quick as it would, and Stafford having to get the ball, you'd think they would have been man to man, like press almost, get right up on those guys because
Yeah.
Stafford was getting it, making a one or two reads, and then getting it out. You would think that Aaron Glenn would be like, all right, push him. He's not getting time. He's making quick instinctual throws, and I think at one point he could have made a mistake. He could have done like what Jared Goff did and thought he had like a, Jared Goff's only interception where it's like he thinks he's got Amon-Ra right there to catch a dart in the middle of the field, but that safety, I was a safety or linebacker, came down and just timed it perfectly to kind of snatch it out of Amon-Ra's hands. But I don't know. I don't know why Glenn didn't attack those receivers a little more, especially after Nakua went down. Because who else did they have?
They got that one veteran guy they signed. But other than
Good thing we
that,
can't remember his name. It's Cooper
it's him.
Kupp and a bunch of dudes.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
Like, and that's why I'm also shocked that they didn't push more. Like maybe you get a couple guys taking a little bit off a Kupp, but all those other guys on them.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine Aaron Glenn should have called. I don't know if call a timeout, but get a hold of Brian Branch and tell him, hey, get up on that line because 99% they're gonna throw it to Cooper Kupp. So jump the route and get that interception for him.
Yeah, because it's not like they were going. I don't think they really ever did like an over the top throw with Kupp.
No,
It's not the
they didn't have time. They wouldn't
yeah.
have time.
So I could see that. Yeah, they could have used Branch a little more, but I like Branch as that safety valve. There's a couple plays where I could see that. Yeah, he was kind of secretly double covering a guy. Like he was always kind of as the blanket security guard for like a Tyrion Arnold. Like, okay, Cup's on this side of the field. I'm going to shadow over here, or I'll shadow over there.
Yeah.
What else you got?
So let's talk about Montgomery here. He's a Mack truck. Thank you to Chicago for not believing in him, and for us picking him up because great addition out there, especially in that overtime, manhandling that defensive front four for the Rams, and ultimately winning the game for us.
Fun fact: he scored more touchdowns in that overtime than the Bears' offense did all day on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah,
because they scored
you know,
0.
that talk with Caleb Williams being the hot stuff.
Hey, let him cook. Let him cook.
Yeah, let him cook, or better yet, let him run for his life because their offensive line can't do crap.
There you go.
So yeah, anything else you want to add to this game?
I mean, you kind of got this note here, unless you want to go back to some Jamison Williams stuff here. Look, great game by Jamison. He got the game ball from the CBS. Actually,
Yeah.
because Goff got it, and then Goff gave it to JMO. I love seeing JMO smiling, and I love hearing his press conference where he's like, because this was his best game, or the most yardage in a game for him. He's like, well, I hope this isn't my biggest game, like, and I don't think it will be. And can you imagine a game bigger than that? Like, it's exciting to think about. Jamison Williams is just having a ball out there, and I love the energy he's bringing. He seems like he's having fun, and it seems like all those guys, like when he was in the background of the Montgomery celebration, just like waving bye-bye to the Rams. He's dancing, all his 3 dance moves on his 1 touchdown catch. It was incredible. Look, I love this kid. I love seeing him ball. Scary moment though when he kind of got tripped up on that one. Was the end around? He kind of got tripped up on.
Yeah,
and that was a scary moment. But luckily he got up and got back in the game, and so we'll see. I'm hoping he stays healthy all season because he's a weapon.
Yeah, that end around. I don't know if they want to keep going to that because he's a skinny guy getting knocked up with 3 defensive players tackling him like that, especially if
You sure you
he's
want to
got
phrase it like that?
what?
You said getting
Or
knocked
getting
up.
tackled, whatever.
This is a family show, Kyle. Wow,
Yeah.
way to be very inappropriate.
But anyways, getting tackled by 3 defenders. He's got foot problems, so I don't know if they're gonna keep doing with that, or maybe have Khalif Raymond start doing a little more of a bigger role in the end arounds. So I'd rather have Jamison Williams going on slant routes or deep balls rather than him getting hurt on an end around.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that he could still be used like that. I would just like to see him like the moment he's instead of risking taking a hit by a couple of dudes, just step out of bounds. Especially if you get a first down or you get a nice chunky yardage, just get out of
Yeah.
bounds, live to fight another down. Because I'd hate to see anything bad happen. Like he's just so frail looking. Like he's just so skinny for an NFL wide receiver. I don't know. I'm just concerned for the dude, but I don't know. Maybe he just had the wind knocked out of him, and maybe he's tougher than we think.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they did tape him up. He got right back out there, so
Yes, he did.
he just wants to play some ball.
Yeah, he did.
All right, let's talk about week 2 here. We got Lions versus the Bucks, 1 o'clock Sunday. So we don't have to stay up late, thank God. That is on Fox. Should be a good game at home again. So expect another rowdy crowd and attendance there. Couple key takeaways on what I'd like to see in this game. Um, Baker Baker Mayfield is not Matthew Stafford, so I want to see what this front four can do against Baker Mayfield. I know he likes to roll out a lot, so um, hopefully someone like Hutchinson or the other guy Davenport can get to him, make his life
Pretty
miserable there.
miserable.
Got to keep it PG there.
Yeah.
And also, I want to see the defensive back room, how much they've worked this week on passing players off, getting a little more comfortable with each other. And look, Terrion Arnold did a fantastic job in this game, except for those couple mistakes. So I want to see how he can do against like Mike Evans or was it Calvin Ridley they got?
Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin, okay. How they're going to match up. And yeah,
Yeah,
and
I think
then
Mike Evans is going to be a tough guy to cover. Very physical receiver. I think these two Buccaneers receivers, especially, a little more physical than the finesse receivers that the Rams had. So I think Tyrion's good. If they have Tyrion Arnold or even who's our number one corner?
Carlton Davis.
Carlton Davis. Going one on one. It's going to be a lot of hand fighting. I feel like Tyrion's gonna if he's got the ball thrown his way, it's going to be the same situation again. We'll see how clean he can try to keep it, or at least get his head looking at the ball so he doesn't get called for his ticky tack stuff. Because Mike Evans is going to probably draw a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I'm not so sure about the Bucks running game. I can't even name who their running
I
back is
don't
right
even.
now.
Do they got the
So
same guy as last year for their?
I have no idea, but I do know that Baker looks a lot better. Baker's been doing nothing but improving, and I think Baker is not going to be that same Baker we saw in the playoff game or even the game during the regular season last year. This guy is playing with a lot more grit, and I think he's going to be, maybe not Matthew Stafford level, but he's going to put up a fight like Stafford does.
Yeah, one thing that's going to help the Lions out is Baker Mayfield does not throw like rockets out there like Stafford does. Kind of floats them, and I'd like to see Kirby Joseph kind of keeping a watchful eye on Mike Evans, kind of stick around him. Um, hopefully, he can get an interception again, or maybe two. Or Brian Branch out there also kind of disguising their coverages and making some plays out there too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Baker Mayfield against the Washington Commanders looks like he just lit them up
Yeah.
from the
So
stats
we'll see
here.
how much of that was that Washington defense or how much of that's Baker. We'll find out this week. And yeah, you got a note here. Hopefully, St. Brown and Laporta get a little more action. I feel like they're going to compensate and they're going to try to cover JMO a little more, so that'll hopefully open up stuff in the middle for St. Brown and for Laporta. But I'm sure Ben Johnson's got something up his sleeve.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, more St. Brown action, Laporta action. I know St. Brown had a pass thrown to him, got intercepted. So that's nothing on St. Brown. It was just I don't think Goff really saw that defender standing right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd like to see more out of those guys there. Hopefully they can get more action and draw a little more attention to JMO
Yeah.
to free up more guys.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. You got a score prediction for next week?
Score prediction week 2. Everyone's got their jitters out of them, bugs, rust kind of knocked off or loosened. So I want to say the Lions are gonna be. I want to say like 34 to. Man, I think Bucks are gonna maybe hit 20. I think that defensive four is just gonna wreak havoc on Baker.
Yeah, I don't know. I think this is going to be a little more low scoring of a game. Everybody, we were expecting the Lions to come in with this high flying, high scoring offense. I just feel like the Lions are going to be a little more ground and pound. I think that'll be their identity a little more. So I think the final score: Detroit 20, Tampa 14. It's going to be a low scoring game, gritty game again in Ford Field. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right, we'll see. And anything else you got?
I do not. I know you want to hurry up and get off so you can go watch the Monday Night Football game. So
Yeah, I'm really
I can
excited about that.
see how many plays Aaron Rodgers gets this year. All
What
right,
time do they play?
now we're
Oh,
recording it like as they're about to kick off. So guys, we hope you enjoyed listening to today's episode and come back for more. Be sure to visit the World of Football's website, www.theworldoffootball.com, for news, links, upcoming events, original articles, videos, and more. If you want to get in touch with us, just send us an email, info@theworldoffootball.com, or you can connect with us on one of our many social media platforms. That's the Facebook page, the X account, or the Instagram. All those are at TWOF Kalamazoo. Be sure to check out our flagship podcast, This Week in the World of Football, which drops new episodes every Tuesday on the nearest podcast feed you can find, as well as our YouTube channel for the audio-only version. So be sure to go over there, check that out. Again, links for those will be in the description. Thanks for watching.
all right.
Or
Sounds
listening,
good.
however you listen to this show.
Yeah. That's it for us this week. Be on the lookout for the next episode. Probably going to come out that Sunday. We'll do a show after the game if Adam doesn't have to work. I'll have to
Well, even if
see.
I do have to work, I don't work during the game. I'll be home to at least talk after the game.
I just don't want you stressed out, okay? I worry
I'm
about you.
stressed. I'm stressed out enough as it is. Didn't you see my beard fell off my face?
Yeah, finally.
Jeez.
All right. We'll see you guys on the next episode. Thanks for watching. Hit that like, subscribe button. Let everyone know about this podcast. Hopefully they watch it, enjoy it. And I just want to give a quick shout out to my dad, who I went over to their house today, and he says that the Lions are going to finish with 2 losses in the season and go to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs and win the um, big game at the end. So yeah,
All right, Kyle's dad.
we'll see if that comes true.
But did you tell him that you put your cats in jerseys?
No,
Because I
they'll
feel like you'd
find
be a
out when
little
they watch this.
disappointed. Okay, I feel like you'd be really disappointed that, and the fact that you would not give your wife a nice house if you won the lottery.
Listen, I'm going to need to win a couple million for that to happen.
Jeez. Priorities.
All right. We'll see you guys later. Thanks.